So we have Mr. Lützen today with us. So I know Mr. Lützen for a good 5 to 6 years now. He has been helping me with many of his services, whether it's financial, whether helping in buying me an apartment, and so on. So I thought it's a good opportunity to have Lützen, to introduce Mr. Lützen to our patrons, to our members. And I also think that he can help them the way he has been helping me in the last 5, 6 years. So, Mr. Lützen, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, it's a pleasure for me to be with you today. My name is Alexander Lützen. I'm a free agent for financial services. I'm running my business since 2008. And as a free agent, what does that mean? I have no connections to a single bank, to a single insurance company. I'm just free. And that is a benefit for my customers to find always the right spot, whatever you're asking me for.
Okay, so Mr. Lützen, you just talked about financial services, insurances. So I'll just try to ask you questions with regards to insurance. So I have a lot of new friends who are just coming from, let's say, India, who have found a new job, or there are friends who are living here in Germany for a very long time. What kind of insurance one needs to start from? There are so many insurances these days.
Yeah, of course, there are so much insurance in Germany. You're not used to that from India. Yeah, I understand that. Obviously, when you are employed, you have your health insurance by the Social Security system. That's number one. I think that is clear. Second, you should think to have a liability insurance. Okay. When you stay here in the community in Germany, and that's what we're talking about, you should have that for you. And even if you have kids, then you should have it. It's very, very important. Just make you an explanation how can affect that you financially if you don't have it. Mm-hmm. For instance, you're walking with your kids and your kids jumping out of the street for no reasons, causing a severe accident.
Okay. With
personal issues, damage and huge damage on other person's property.
Right.
So in Germany, you will get sued for that you have to pay for that. And if a person gets harmed in their health, then can cause you that you have to pay for a lifetime.
Okay, so if for some reason or this accident, there is a person or a human being has medical issues, and so I am liable for that person throughout the life and have to keep on paying him. Is that what I understand?
Exactly.
Correct?
You will get sued by court.
Okay.
That you have to pay a certain amount. For instance, the person has to go for a nursing home for the rest of her life. You have to pay a couple of €1,000 per month.
Oh, wow.
Lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And that covers the liability insurances.
Okay, so that's kind of covered by the liability insurance.
You have here a coverage of up to 50 million coverage per case.
Okay.
And that should be pretty enough to get being safe financially if you make a situation that somebody property get harmed or a person gets harmed.
Okay, so liability insurance is one. What you call this in German? Haftpflichtversicherung?
Private Haftpflichtversicherung.
Private Haftpflichtversicherung.
Right.
Okay, so this is one insurance. So what about the other ones? What are the other important ones?
The other important ones is, for instance, the lawyer insurance.
Okay.
In those days, it's important as well. The people are crazy a little bit, so it gets very, very easy that you get sued, or you have to fight for your rights.
Okay.
And then not having such a big issue financially as well, you can ask a lawyer to fight for your rights. Okay. So in the best case, you have a combination of 4 items to need to be covered. That's first private, second business, third traffic, fourth real estate. What does it mean in special? Private means all you can think about private issues, contract issues, you get sued by whatever, it's called private. Second, business, if you have some topics with your boss. You get kicked out and you will think, no, I'm not.
You mean from your employer?
Right.
Okay.
Against your employer.
Okay.
You have some issues, you get kicked out, for instance, or other topics.
Okay.
Number 3, traffic. Obviously, if you have an issue driving by car, you have an accident and the fault is not clear, you can fight for your right that you get sued to be the one who has caused the damage. Maybe it's 50-50 or 30, 70 or something like that, you don't need a lawyer for fighting for your rights. That's going very easily. You have a speeding problem, you can fight for your rights, not losing your driver's license, you can name it. It's a whole big topic. Number 4, real estate.
Okay.
That is very important, even if you are at a rental apartment or the owner of the apartment or building. If you have an issue with a neighbor, for instance, or regarding the issue real estate, you have coverage here as well. So in combination, it makes the best sense for getting the biggest coverage for the reasonable price.
Okay. So what I understand is that you have an insurance, and if you have any of those issues which you just mentioned, you can hire a lawyer, and that is paid by the insurance.
Exactly. We can make some different kind of coverage as well, from basic up to premium.
Okay.
We can talk about your self-payment per case. It's going from 0 to 150. That is the common. You can go above for 300, 500, depending up to you.
Understood.
Obviously, it makes a difference in price.
Okay. So that is again one other insurance that you would recommend.
Absolutely.
Anything else that you would strongly recommend?
Yes, of course. Even if you are renting your apartment, the furniture and everything was in the apartment that are your belongings.
Wow. Okay.
And if they get damaged, for instance, by severe rain, your basement gets flooded. Lightning, in those days, all the electronics are very, very fine against high voltage peak. They're being covered. Glass broken. If you have kids, even a very, very topic. Even when your wife dropping something on the Ceranfeld, it's covered as well. So that is the house insurance. That covers your property inside your apartment. So it makes no difference you own the apartment or you rent the apartment, because that is your belongings in both cases, and they're not insured if you don't have that.
What is this insurance called exactly in German language?
Hausratversicherung.
Hausratversicherung.
Exactly.
Okay, so the private Haftpflichtversicherung?
Yes.
And then the lawyer's Versicherung or lawyer's insurance?
Right.
And the private Hausratsversicherung.
Hausratversicherung.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay. And then it can including damage by earthquakes. That means environmental damage.
Okay.
Glass broken. That are the 2 topics which you can add. So when you have both, you're done.
Okay. Understood.
Right.
So one can start with at least these 2 or 3 insurances that you just recommended.
Liability is after your health insurance number 1, and the other one I recommend to have. But it's up.
Okay. So you can also break down these insurance into different categories. As you said, the lawyer insurance, you may not need all the 4, you just need 1 or 2. So you can choose one of them or 2 of them? Okay.
But it makes sense for price and covering. So if you only go for private or you only go for traffic, for instance, in comparison, if you have all 4 of them, makes a better price for the complete coverage.
Okay, understood.
Yes, but yes, if money is short, we can go only for 1 if you wish. Or we can leave 1 out if you say, I'm so satisfied with my job, I never will get kicked out, so we can leave the business part out, for instance.
Okay, understood.
Or we can leave the real estate part off if you only take the 3, private, business, and traffic. It's up to you.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's very important information then. So insurance is one topic that I think is important to many of the members and patrons. The another important topic is that me coming from India, and just like me, many of my other peers or friends or colleagues who are coming in, they get into their first job and they try saving money and they want to invest somewhere. So maybe they want to invest in, I do not know, gold or ETFs or any financial topics where they can grow their money rather than keeping it in the bank. As we all know, money in the bank is no more the best solution. Saving money, which we have been learning from our parents, like things are like moving out, and we should learn to grow money. That's the buzzword. Can you help us there as well? I mean, are there things that you can help us and suggest the patrons to do that they can grow their money?
Absolutely. Of course, as you mentioned, for making big savings in the bank industry in cash, we have to divide that in cash deposit That makes some real sense because we have the inflation currently like crazy. Currently roughly around 10. In long-term perspective in Germany we have a 3. So it makes no sense currently. But for the short-term cash, it really makes sense to have 2 to 3 netto income, family income, for short-term usage on a deposit in the bank. That's okay. I would recommend not going for 3 because of the inflation reason, going to 2. That's plenty enough. Your car breaks down, your washing machine breaks down, you have instant cash available.
Right.
But everything above that needs to go out. For instance, for stock, for real estate, for gold, that are not cash deposits, it's stocks, real estate, which has no effectiveness on inflation.
Okay, so
that is very important.
Just again, once again. So if you say that I earn 100 euros, and out of that, how much percent I should kind of keep it for myself in cash, and how much should I invest? So just from a percentage point of view, what would you recommend?
So if the family income, for instance, is 8K,
okay,
you should keep up to 16K, 15, 16K in cash. Everything else needs to go with somebody else.
Okay, understood.
Different places, which makes sense. Depending what you're thinking, stock market, it's very, very easy. You can do it by yourselves, but finding the right spot, finding the right investments, you need to be aware what's going on. Probably you heard about that. A lot of people going into the ETFs because that's very, very easy. It's very, very convenient. But is that the right choice? So I'm not a big fan of ETFs. I'm a fan of going into really good solutions with stocks. We can talk that. But the other topic is making an investment in physical gold.
Okay.
That is what gives you secureness and advantage for development and a tax advantage.
Okay.
Obviously, one big part is the real estate part, but we have to dive in that very, very deeply because it's quite complicated.
Okay, we'll come to the real estate a bit later. So just help me understand, you just picked up this topic called saving taxes. I mean, by investing in gold. Can you just very briefly explain that?
That's very important because we have a government rule when you keep physical gold for 1 year, the gaining value is tax-free after 1 year and 1 day. So it means you get 1 ounce for 1,000 euros. You keep it 1 year. You sell it for 2,000 euros. The 1,000 euros you gained is tax-free.
Okay, understood. So anything if you if you keep that gold for more than 1 year, so like 366 days and more, the gain that you get out of the gold is tax-free. So how do you keep the gold? So you keep it at your home. You have special places where you keep the gold. How does that work?
You can keep it at home, but that is your risk.
Okay.
Get it stolen. Obviously. But yes, of course, I have a company which offers a perfect solution for that. So it's 100% secured and insured on a tax-free place in Switzerland. So that is a very good place, and a tax-free place, it's another topic. For instance, if you're going into buying silver, platinum, palladium, when you buy that standardly here in Germany, you have to pay tax on that, the 19%. If you buy that includingly and you just save it down there in the tax-free space, you don't have to pay the 19%. What is your benefit? You get more weight for money. And that is a thinking you should have if you're going into physical gold, physical assets. Looking how much weight you will get for your money.
Because gold is a very important topic, because I know we, especially coming from India, we really have a very, very strong attraction for gold, whether in the form of jewelry or whether in form of bars. So, and if we can save money while we purchase it, as you say, by paying less tax, and of course keeping the gold for a longer time, and if you're selling the gold, actually not paying tax on it, it's kind of good benefit. So that really helps. That information is very nice.
We are talking about bars in the quality of 24 carats. Maximum quality. No jewelry, no coins,
Understand.
bars.
But bars. Okay.
And you will get the benefit to get the price from the big bars, even if you buy for a small amount of money. So if you go to the bank and you're asking for 1 grams, it costs more, obviously, if you're going to buy a kilogram.
Understood.
But here, this company offers you the price from the big one. The kilogram or the international one is 12.5 kilograms. So here, again, you have the advantage to get more weight for your money.
Okay. So if somebody's interested in buying gold, one can reach out to you directly and you
Absolutely.
will help that person in the process of buying the gold.
And you have access 24/7 by app or web-based.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. That's very good information.
You're welcome.
So, Mr. Lützen, you just spoke about real estate. We touched that point. And I know from my experience, people, like come to Germany or come to this part of the world, they start working, they save a lot of money, and they want to buy properties or real estate. One can buy it for themselves, and the other thing is they buy so that they can have a side income by renting the property out. So what is the best way of buying a property? So help us, what are the prerequisites? Help us understand what I would need or someone like me would need to buy a property here in Germany.
Oh, it is the easiest part. You find a property, have the cash money available. That's the easiest part. But let's talk by scratch. In the beginning, you should have, and that is a mandatory number one, an unlimited job.
Okay.
Out of any provision.
So, okay.
That is most important, number one. Okay. Second, as I know, the PR is a big topic as well. So most of the time you have the blue card that is not unlimited. It's a limited PR, what you have right now.
Right.
And obviously the topic language. That means the German language, it's a problem on the bank industry as well. So if you go to the bank industry, and I usually have available access to 300 banks, but for experience, I know the bank has 2 main topics. First of all, they make the requirement have an unlimited PR.
Okay.
If you don't have that, you won't get a loan.
You mean a permanent stay permit in Germany?
Residential permit. Even if you're not a German citizen, you have an unlimited resident permit.
And blue card does not fall under permanent residential permit? Okay.
No, blue card is the
just
beginning.
For beginning, okay.
At the beginning, And secondly, the bank makes the requirement German language. They make the requirement that you understand the contract they will send you. You can read and understand in German.
Okay.
And secondly, the notary appointment, the contract which you will sign on the notary appointment, that you understand that in German as well. Okay. So if you don't do that, you have to hire a people who gives you a hand officially.
A translator.
Translator that costs you between 1,000 and 2,500 for this appointment. That's crazy money. That doesn't make any sense.
Understood.
So I can offer the people with a blue card, which is limited PR, and even not speaking German fluently or perfect, I have an offer to apply for a loan up to 750,000 euros. We have some requirements as well. You need to have at least the cash for the cost buying the property. Okay. Here in Baden-Württemberg, we have in total 10.57% from the price asked. It divides in 5% tax for buying the property,
right?
2% for the notary appointment,
understood,
and 3.57 including tax for the agent.
Okay.
In total, it's a 10.57.
So it's not the price of the property, but you need to get cash from your side for taking care of the other costs.
Exactly, and that is a requirement.
Okay.
Minimum. If you have more, that has a huge impact of your interests. Okay. For instance, if you have another 5 or another 10% from the asked price, you face a significant drop in interest. We're talking about a couple of tenths.
Okay, understood.
That makes really sense.
So what I hear you today is that even if you have a blue card, you are able to finance a house or an apartment up to 7,50,000 euros.
750,
with the prerequisite that you get that 10.75%
Absolutely.
from the house cost from your side to take care of the costs.
Yes.
The other costs. Okay, understood. So this is really very important because I know that there are a lot of blue card holders who are really want to buy something from themselves and they're not sure because of course blue card is not a permanent, as you said, I'm assuming, so banks are reluctant to give them any kind of a loan, but there are solutions, and if there are somebody who's interested can certainly reach you directly, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because I know that, and behind the scenery, I take some action to figure that out, and I got the solution. Yes.
Okay, so somebody reaches out to you. So let's assume that somebody, like finds the apartment, is convinced, wants to buy it, has the price, will come to you simply, and you will take over the process from there.
Yes, I will make an appointment, and we initially start with the self-declaration. That's obviously the basics for every bank,
Right.
with me as well, because we have to collect all the personal informations, all the personal numbers,
Right.
all the paper stuff is required. We need to collect. Obviously, we need to discuss the property the person is looking for, and maybe we have to discuss the problems already being built property may give us. The main issue is the point of view of the bank on the price by itself.
Okay.
So here is a topic by itself, but we will need to address that, obviously,
On a case-to-case basis.
Case-to-case basis.
Okay.
Case-to-case basis.
Understood. So how I understand the bank part. So what I also understand is that you are not the bank, but you are helping the buyer to reach out to the right bank who will provide the best possible interest rates and the whole the payment part. So that's where you come in, and you're trying to coordinate together with the bank as the person who's in the middle between the buyer and the person who is giving, or the bank which is giving the loan to you. Now,
Absolutely. We need to be precise. For you people with the blue card,
Right.
we have limited access. I have the solution, yes, but normally I can offer you 300 banks on the market.
Right.
So
Okay.
if you fulfill the quote standard requirements, you have the unlimited PR, or you are a German citizen.
Mm-hmm.
You have the cash available, or you have more cash since the cost for buying. Then you have access to the whole market,
Understood.
and I can offer that for you. So here we're talking a complete different solution.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that is a total different story.
Okay, so for the PR, there is one way of going forward,
Yes.
where you have the solution,
Yes.
and for anybody who has a permanent contractual agreement and a permanent residency in Germany, obviously the market is much more open and much more easy for them to.
I have 300 banks roughly available, so that is
that's a lot, yeah.
the best case, because we have some craziness on the market as well.
Sure.
Probably you heard about that. And we can discuss when everything is available, KfW, help if you're buying a new one or so forth.
Understood.
It's 100% individual, and we have to look at case by case, and for one doesn't fit to another.
Okay, understood. Very good. So we talked about real estate, we talked about insurances, we talked about financial investments. One thing what I've understood from you is, like, in all these cases, you are able to help every customer individually, right?
Absolutely.
What I also understand from you, because we have a lot of new people here in Germany who are struggling with German language, not that they are not want to speak, they may take some time, and these type of services that you are providing has a lot of detailed German, complicated language which is used. So are you able to help them to translate it, understand what they are signing for, or are you able to kind of act as a translator on many cases? So I'm just trying to understand if that would be possible from your side.
If you wish, both.
Okay.
So obviously, I will offer my appointments totally in English.
Okay.
And obviously, all the documents are in German.
Yes.
I will help the customers to understand what we are talking about. Jump back into the topic of real estate. When it comes to the notary appointment,
Right.
I have experience. I did it a couple of times before. I go with you to the notary appointment to be your translator.
Wow.
Obviously, we are going to training the contract before.
That's
So
Okay.
In the best case,
So you already have the contract beforehand, which you can prepare yourself
yes, you
and
have
understand it before you go to the contractual agreement. So as per the law, I know you have to have the contractual agreement ready before the signature.
That is mandatory.
Mandatory. So 2 weeks or 4 weeks before.
2 weeks.
Yes, 2 weeks before the agreement. So you have it, and then you can prepare yourself, and of course, you can go to the notary and get or registration and help the customers translate the document.
In the best way, we train ourselves. You can sing the contract in front of the notary.
Okay. And is this service free of cost, Mr. Lützen?
Cup of coffee.
That's free enough. Okay, good. Thank you so much.
I will jump to another topic regarding the real estate.
Okay, please.
The difference between buying for yourselves to making an investment are two different topics.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're going for the investments, we have the requirements a little bit more in the cash deposit.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have to figure it out. I have solutions for you which really make sense. It's a personal point of view as well, because it has to fit what are your wishes for the future. But it really makes sense in those days to think about an investment.
Okay. So real estate from an investment point of view.
Yes.
So you can have a side income where you probably rent it out. That's what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
And it has a different prerequisite. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. And can you please kind of help us understand the difference between buying for yourself and buying for investment, and what are the prerequisites? How is it different?
As I know for experience, most of your people are very good educated and obviously have a very good job.
Okay.
Turns out in a very good income.
Okay.
So if you have a very good income, you have a crazy load of tax here in Germany.
Yes.
So if you make an investment in real estate, that is one of the legal solutions to save tax.
Okay.
So for that perspective by itself, it makes sense to think very, very deeply on that.
Or early.
Because as an income on top, obviously you have the rent, but the interest part on perspective per year, you can present to the tax office as a deduction.
Right.
And that makes sense. And I have some solution with some other topics for additional tax deduction are available, because the building have fulfilled some requirements which the government gave us. If the property fulfills the requirements, you get another topic to save tax. So I have solutions on that.
Can you just help us understand
Nursing home,
one
for
example?
instance. Nursing home.
Okay.
You're buying an apartment in the nursing home, and we're talking about a brand new construction.
Okay.
The mandatory from the government, it has to fulfill the newest and the highest requirements on environmental friendly construction.
So you are buying a nursing home, or just one building or one room?
One room, one apartment.
Okay. So just to understand for everybody here is, you are buying one room of a nursing home. Right. So, and you are renting that nursing home room out.
Yes.
Right. And there is somebody staying there. So it's not a hospital, but a nursing home. Mostly for old people. Is that correct?
When you have health issue that requires that you cannot handle your life by yourselves, obviously you have to find a place where you get the help that you need.
Right.
And then we are in the nursing home.
So
most of the case, elderly people. Yes.
Most of the case, it's elderly people. So they come and stay. So how do you rent these apartments in the nursing home? So is it an agency which does it, or is it the building or the nursing organization which kind of helps you?
It's a special kind of investment in real estate, and it's the one with the lowest cost on market.
Okay,
understand. And the lowest risk on market. Without any risk, nothing is available. I think that is 100% clear. The company who runs the nursing home is a contract holder when you go into the nursing home as a patient, so to speak.
Understood.
I own one of those apartments, and I have a contract with a management company who controls the company who runs the nursing home, collects the rent, and the company rents the whole building.
Understood.
For instance, for 80K per month.
Okay.
And the company who makes the management is collecting the money, it's dividing the money by all the owners.
Okay.
And of course, taking care of the interest of the owners. So they have a control
of the building.
Offer to control the company who runs the nursing home. Are they doing the business good? Are they doing the maintaining very good? Because they're responsible for the complete infrastructure. Because that is a big difference when you're buying a standard real estate. You don't have to care on the dripping water hose or whatever service on the heating or the plumbing. It's not your topic.
Okay.
So that means you have the lowest risk. And even if your apartment is empty because somebody passes away, and obviously when you're
you don't find someone to rent your apartment,
you don't need to take care on that. That is a business risk of the company who runs a nursing home. Okay. You don't feel it. You get every single month your income, and that's very, very stable. Okay. You have a contract of 20 years, at least. This option of extends, obviously. Okay. Yeah. And you have the same regulations like a standard investment in real estate. If you sell it after 10 years, you gain money, it's tax-free.
Oh, it's tax-free?
It's tax-free.
Wow.
After 10 years holding as an investment, you sell it, the money is tax-free when you sell it with increased value.
Zero taxes?
Zero tax. Okay. In German, it's called Spekulationsfrist.
Okay. So if I sell a normal apartment after 10 years, I will have to pay taxes on...
No, it's for everybody the same reason.
Okay, so it's the same.
If you make an investment. If you own it by yourself, it's tax-free after 3 years.
Oh, okay.
That's all the difference.
That's the difference. Okay, understood. Good. Are there anything else that you would want to strongly recommend our viewers and your viewers?
Yes, of course. Now we have talked about the investments in real estate for yourself or as an investment. Here we have to think about securing your income because you obviously signed a loan contract over decades.
Yes, when you buy a house, let's say.
Or for an investment, yes. And for a loan, we're talking about a long term. In average in Germany, the contract has a duration of 30 years in average. Okay. Somebody shorter and somebody longer. And if you're going to present yourself for the applying process for the loan, obviously you present yourself with your personal income.
Right.
And here it makes sense to think about to secure your income because you have a contract with the bank.
Right.
The bank is very, very, very interested to get their money back. So if you have topics financially because something happens to your health and you cannot bring your income, after 6-7 months, you will get not so funny letters. And in the 8th month, at least, the bank will start the process of kicking you out of your own property or your investment and starting the auction. And if the auction turns out with a debt, you're responsible to take care of that immediately. If you can't, you're facing bankruptcy. Okay. So that should not happen. So what covers that? The main is obviously the occupational disability insurance, which covers the job, what you're doing. Most of the time I knew you have something with computers. Right. So the risk is not very, very high. So we find a big solution for a reasonable price. Secondly, the dread disease coverage. Dread disease coverage, not much people knew about that, but it's very, very important.
What is a dread disease?
Severe illnesses. For instance, getting a stroke, getting a heart attack, facing cancer. That are the main risks. We're talking about people for your community. Most of the time they're working with the head. They're not working with hands. Yeah. So the dread disease coverage is one of those which covers the highest risk of that. And in the policy, we have coverage of 55 illnesses. Understood. Okay. And we are free in finding the coverage. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Understood. So what I understand, like we spoke about few insurances in the very beginning of our podcast. So yes. Like those are the very must, which everyone should actually have. Now we are talking about a more fine-tuned insurance policies, like policies which we think should, because we have done a lot of investment and we have a lot of credit, and just to safeguard our family and our property, we should look into taking those coverages or taking those insurances just to safeguard our position and our hard-earned money.
Even if you have the feeling because you have kids and you want to secure your income, even if you're not yet going for buying real estate, but prepare yourself. I'm talking about a strong financial basis.
Understood.
You should start with the basement, everything comes on top. If you have a strong basement, you could put really 8 topics on top of that and be secured that they can withstand rough sea, so to speak. Okay? Another topic is, obviously when you are employed here in Germany, you are a member of the social security system.
Right.
And here we should address the pension topic now.
Yes, the pension.
Yes, because when you are a member of the social security system, you're going to figure out when you get your first pension report after 5 years, because you have a waiting time of 60 months, that means 5 years. Mm-hmm. You figure out you're finding a certain amount, which gives us that amount is going to be when you retire, when you age 67.
Right.
And they will tell us down there, please keep in mind that the gap between that and your current income
stays as less.
There is going to be a big gap. And you have to make deductions on the number you see on report. You have to pay tax, and you have to include the inflation.
Right.
That is not yet included. So you have to make a huge deduction on that. And maybe you figure out it's only 50% or even only 25% the value or perspective from today and when you retire. So here it's very, very important to address your private pension plan. And as early as you do, the more time you have to save some money.
Right.
And here we have 2 different types, which really make sense.
Okay.
And here we're stepping in. Most of the time, as I mentioned, you have a good income. You can sign for a pension plan, give with your other kickback in tax. Okay. It's called Basisrente.
Okay.
So if you make a monthly payment, we have to figure it out for everybody individually. Mm-hmm. But this amount has a complete deduction in tax.
Okay.
And for the numbers of 24, it changes every year. In total, for every contract holder can make a total investment in this pension plan of 27,000 euros per year.
Per year, yes.
As a complete deduction on your tax load. What does it mean in detail? I'm not allowed. That is part of your tax agent. We have here make a very strong cut.
Okay. You have to differentiate between a tax agent and a financial service
I can
agent.
only speak to products I'm allowed to sell. What does it mean in euro and cent? I'm not allowed to calculate. That is the part of your tax agent. And I really strongly recommend to take care of that and find one which takes service for you. Okay. Because then you can make really an impact on your tax deductions.
Understood.
Obviously, when you're going into the pension time, we will have to see you only get a monthly pension. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, when the government gives you an advantage
of lump sum,
when you get the pension, the government asks you a little bit back. So the pension which comes out is under tax.
Right.
But what is the benefit? Currently, you may have 42, 45, 49% tax load. Mm-hmm. And the people who are retired today in Germany, in average, have a tax load of 18%.
Okay.
I don't know what is in the next decades, the tax load, but the gap between 45, for instance, or 18, and that is your advantage.
That's it. Yes. Because you are paying less in that form of
currently, where you are under the highest load, you have the impact on tax deduction, and that is the reason why it makes sense. Okay. Understood. The second one, it's called the free pension plan. Mm-hmm. You make your monthly deposit, and when you retire, you have the choice between taking the cash 100% out of the contract, leave it there because you don't need it yet, leave it running as a standard deposit, or claim for a pension monthly. Monthly. And here you have the advantage, you have 50% of the raised money tax-free. Okay. Obviously, the amount you put into the contract is already after tax.
Right.
That is tax-free, of course.
Right.
But the raised money, 50% are tax-free. So that is an advantage later on. But when you save on the free pension plan, it has not such a deep impact on tax deduction. It has a little bit, but not as much as the basis.
Great. So we've covered a lot of points today, what I'm just realizing. We started with insurances, we started with investments, we did real estate, we talked about, again, insurances, we talking about pension funds. So that's really a lot of topic that one needs to really understand and think about. Obviously, I'm assuming one does not need each and everything.
No.
It is completely person to person, how the family is or how your life is. But if one wants to live in Germany and or in this part of the world, it is strongly advisable to look into these solutions and services that you are providing. And what I also understand, you hold your customers, especially with the language barriers that we have here, so that they can sign the right contract and not make mistakes or not sign the wrong things, which you are then feel cheated at the later point of time. So with your experience and of course with your knowledge, that's how I would say, right?
Yeah. My work I'm beginning with the financial analysis.
Right.
Yeah,
understand.
Maybe on the first or on the second appointment, depending if the door opener lets to see is the wish to apply for a loan, then we will address that topic, and then we go for the analysis on the second appointment, for instance. But that is the beginning, because I'm a free agent. I don't know what fits the customers best. So I'm collecting in first place, and I'm doing this very, very precise, because if you make a good analysis, you have good data quality and you can produce quality afterwards.
Okay.
Building up a personal concept which connect everything, and it fits perfect.
Very good. So thank you very much, Mr. Lützen, for talking to us. It was really a pleasure talking to you on so many topics. I'm sure this will help a lot of our members, our veterans, and fellow people who have just come to Germany or are living here for some time. And please contact Mr. Lützen. His contact details will be flashed or will be available in the caption on this video. So thank you so much, Mr. Lützen.
It was a pleasure for me, and maybe we're going to meet those days. Looking forward for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.